Welcome to today's deep dive. Modern knowledge, it often feels like this, like a shattered mirror. You've got brilliant experts, but they're basically just staring into their own tiny, isolated shard of glass.
Yeah, exactly. Like the biologist over here, sociologist over there.
Right, exactly. But today we're looking at a 2026 book, The War Between Mind and Matter, Berkeley, An Idealism of Reality by Boris Kriger, published by Altaspera Publishing. And Krieger's original idea isn't just to, I don't know, tape the glass back together.
No, he's looking right at the silver backing of the mirror, the human mind.
Yes. He argues it's the exact same mind behind every single shard. And that brings us to our mission today, to explore this really unique, interdisciplinary framework he's built.
Right, and to understand just how original his ideas are here, I mean, we really have to look at the title. George Berkeley, the 18th century philosopher.
Very idealism guy, right.
Well, yeah, the guy famous for idealism, this concept that reality is fundamentally mental. Like to exist is to be perceived.
Yeah.
And Krieger basically takes that ancient mind versus matter debate and just drops it straight into our contemporary world.
Which is a huge jump.
It is, yeah. He's on this active mission to destroy the unnatural walls we've built, the divides between philosophy, science, and the massive political structures we live inside.
I mean, I have to admit, I struggle with this kind of theory of everything approach.
Which sounds like a lot.
It does,
Oh, yeah.
because usually when a thinker tries to merge, say, existentialism with cognitive science and social theory, it ends up, well, they end up watering down the science just to make the philosophy sound profound,
Yeah, right, it just gets chaotic for you as a reader.
Exactly. So does Krieger actually have the scientific rigor to back this up, or is it just like philosophical poetry?
Well, it's a completely valid skepticism. But Krieger avoids that trap by focusing on mechanisms, not metaphors. He doesn't just casually say, oh, modern life is stressful.
Yeah.
He actually takes the deep personal meaning-making of existentialism and physically maps it onto cognitive science.
Wait, how does he do that? Physically?
So, for example, he looks at how our brains are literally biologically being rewired by algorithms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which fundamentally alters how we perceive reality. So the war between mind and matter, it isn't some abstract debate anymore. It's a physical conflict happening right inside our neural pathways.
When our minds interact with digital structures.
Exactly, yes.
So if I'm getting this, our modern existential crises aren't just us like sitting under a tree pondering the universe.
Oh, well, not at all.
They're actual biological reactions to our technological environment. He's taking the internal human experience, Berkeley's idealism, the mind, and just crashing it into the matter of modern technology.
Precisely. And this is exactly how his philosophy refuses to be reductive. Because a reductive thinker would look at that and say, well, we're all just meat computers governed by algorithms.
Totally deterministic.
Yeah. But on the flip side, a utopian thinker would say, oh, human consciousness is magical and transcends all technological control.
Right, which is maybe a bit too optimistic.
Exactly. Krieger rejects both of those extremes. He argues our subjective reality is constantly constructing and being constructed by these external forces.
But I mean, if he's refusing to simplify things, that sounds incredibly heavy for anyone trying to navigate daily life.
It's definitely a lot to hold in your head at once.
Yeah, because we're asking you, the listener, to hold biological determinism, philosophical idealism, and technological influence all at the same time. What's the practical advantage of actually looking at the world this way?
Well, the practical advantage is that it prevents you from being manipulated.
Okay, how so?
When you stop artificially separating the science you read from the ethics you practice, or, the technology you use from the philosophy you believe, you finally start to see the whole system.
You see how it all connects.
Right. You realize that an algorithmic change on a social platform, it's not just a minor tech update. It's an actual alteration of our collective reality.
Which goes back to the mirror analogy. You stop staring at your own reflection in a single shard of glass and you finally step back and see the whole room.
Exactly. Which I think leaves us with a really urgent question to consider, long after you finish this deep dive.
What's that?
Well, if modern life constantly forces us to compartmentalize, like treating our personal existential feelings as totally separate from larger collective political realities, what crucial parts of the world are being altered right in front of us simply because we've been trained not to connect the dots?